grandfather was a doctor, specializing in the cardiovascular system and in heart surgery. After he passed away, I inherited his stethoscope and have spent many hours listening to the sound of the heartbeat. This has provoked my investigation into the knowledge-production relationship that exists between fine arts and medical science. Historically, humans have always possessed the desire to gain knowledge, which is manifested in some ways through the concept of learning through doing, in other words, through experimentation. This also extends to the art of dissection. Artists, for example Leonardo da Vinci, were intrigued by this knowledge and they desired to improve their visual representation of the human form through having a closer inspection of its anatomy. Da Vinci's methods of experimentation and of interrelating the disciplines of art and science in his works are examples of the relationship that came to coexist between art and medical science. Da Vinci has inspired my own artistic practice and my investigations in that they now aim to demonstrate practically how these two disciplines can be integrated through looking at the exploration of anatomy. Da Vinci also desired to acquire a total understanding of the very nature of things. In his drawings and in his prints, he depicts direct viewpoints with the objective to transform the viewer into a surrogate eyewitness of the dissection itself, which is a stance similar to the one that I take with my own art. Observation is very different from experimentation, in that while the former is merely a deliberate gaze, experimentation is more of a probing method that is used to penetrate that which the senses cannot capture. This is done through forcing objects to expose what they conceal. The act of dissection functions on two levels. Firstly, the literal sense of manual probing, and then of course the figurative sense of cerebral grasping. Anatomy acts sort of like an enlarging glass, in that it magnifies details and reveals hidden morphologies. It also enables the artist to observe more than that can be seen by the eye, in order to represent the forms that are concealed beneath the veil of skin. My practical body of work is presented in the form of a Wunderkammer, or a cabinet of curiosities, in which boundaryless objects are collected and displayed. The miniature objects and other curiosities that are found in such cabinets materialize the connections that exist between the macro and the microcosm, the body and the mind. During the period that I described of learning through doing, people were dedicated to seeking ways in which science and art could function in the public realm as a means of education and furthering knowledge. In the same way, I desire to present my cabinet to the public in a way that sparks conversation around the topics of knowledge, anatomy, art, and the abject. It is presented in an interactional manner, encouraging the viewer to touch, to smell, to listen to, and to behold the specimens within the cabinet. It therefore creates genres which engage its senses. Furthermore, I desire to attract the public to the art of anatomy, forcing those who are repulsed by the underlying elements of the concept of the abject to grow a respect for the body and an appreciation for the complexities of medical science and the beauty of the interior. Transparency, both in the arts as well as in anatomy, can be achieved by the mind traveling downwards and scooping out interiors, which relates to the technique of my corrosion casting. This is a method in which resin is injected into the interior vessels and cavities of an organ. The entire process requires continuous problem solving, which relates to the characteristics of the experimental artist and learning through doing. The flesh of the organ, in my case a heart, is then dissolved in hydrochloric acid until only the resin-filled cavities remain. I made use of this technique quite a lot because of its scientific qualities, as well as the artistic finish of the resulting product. Overall, my aim for my art is for it to educate, to inform, to captivate, and to intrigue.